Story 2. One evening, the blacksmith was busy with his forge. He was making a goat shoe for the goat of a very rich lady who wanted to see if the goat liked it before she ordered the whole set. This was the only order that week, and as he worked, his wife sat and nursed the baby, who, for a wonder, was not crying. Suddenly, over the noise of the bellows and over the clank of the iron, there came another sound. The blacksmith and his wife looked at each other. "I heard nothing," said he. "Neither did I," said she. But the noise grew louder and louder. The blacksmith and his wife were scared and tried to pretend that they heard nothing. John started to hammer harder than ever before, and his wife began to sing to the baby. But through the hammering and singing, the noise came louder and louder, and the more they tried not to hear it, the more they had to. Some great creature was purring somewhere in the old dungeon down below, where the broken steps went down into the dark and ended no one knew where. "There isn't anything in the dungeon," said the blacksmith, wiping his face. "Why, I will have to go down there after more coals in a minute." "There isn't anything there, of course. How could there be?" said his wife. And they tried hard to believe that there could be nothing there. Then the blacksmith took his shovel in one hand and his hammer in the other, and hung the old lantern on his finger, and went down to get the coals. "I'll take the hammer because it is handy for breaking the large lumps of coal," said he. "It isn't that I think there is anything there." So he went down the stairs to the dungeon, and stood at the bottom of the steps, holding the lantern above his head, just to see that the dungeon was empty. Half of it was empty as usual, except for the old iron, and the firewood, and the coals. But the other side was not empty. There was a dragon there. The blacksmith, trembling all over, tried to creep back up the stairs, but the dragon was too quick for him. It put out great claws and caught him by the leg. As it moved, it rattled like a great bunch of keys. "Dear me," said poor John, trembling more than ever in the claws of the dragon. "Here's a nice end for a respectable blacksmith." The dragon seemed very much struck by these words. "I didn't know," he said. "Fancy now, you're the very man I wanted. Will you do a job for me? There is something wrong with one of my wings. Could you put it to rights?" "Yes, sir," said John politely, because you must always be polite to a possible customer, even if he is a dragon. "A master can see in a minute what's wrong," the dragon went on. "Just come round here and feel my plates." John timidly went round when the dragon took his claw away, and, sure enough, the dragon's wing was hanging loose, and several of the plates near the joint certainly wanted riveting.